Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Let Love In with Liv. So many things have happened since the last time I came on the first of the year, and I want to talk about it. I want to share it because I think it's important. It is important to me, and it might be where you are or where you're going. And I want y'all to learn from the many things that I went through over the course of the last month. So, oh, and another thing, happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is my all time favorite holiday. It always has been. I love and all the things. And so, let me say this. When I got saved 12 years ago, I was in a relationship, right? We jumping right up in there, right up in there. I was in a relationship and I got saved, and this relationship that I was in with this man, it was low-key toxic. Let's be honest, it was toxic. But before it was toxic, he was just a really close friend. And, as a human, you just like, oh, this is great as a friendship. We should try more. You probably should not, unless the Lord says. But anyway, so fast forward, we're together, we're in this relationship. I get radically saved out of nowhere. For me, it was out of nowhere. For God, it was a plan, but either way it goes. And so then I start to feel like uneasy. Like, I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't feel like it fits anymore. He's an unbeliever, which, you know, you know, as a new baby Christian is so exciting, and it should always be exciting. But when you first get saved, like, it's very exciting, right? You're like the zeal of the Lord. You want to go and tell everybody about how the Lord has saved you and all these things. And there was just this disconnect with he and I. Like, I wanted to talk about the Lord, and he was just like not interested, which is fine. But it was just feeling uneasy for me. So I prayed about it. Of course, the Lord gave me my very first vision. And in the vision, a lot happened. Long story short, he's like, this is not going to work out for you. This is not going to be a good long-term thing. And so I said, okay. It was hurtful to me because I loved him, right? Um, I wanted to be with him. I wanted to spend my life with him, actually. Um, and it wasn't going to work out. And so I told him, I said, listen, I really want to pursue my relationship with the Lord. I just don't think this is going to work out. Now, mind you, he was in prison at the time. Um, and so he was in prison for the whole entirety of our friendship. We were friends before, but we got closer and closer as he spent his time there, writing back and forth and visits and all the things. And so he just stopped calling. Like, after I told him this, he just stopped calling. He stopped emailing, all of the things. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's done. I did it, Lord, and it was hard. And over the course of the 12 years, we talk every now and again. And we'd have moments, you know what I'm saying? You have moments where you're like, I don't want to do this. I changed my mind. I want you back. That was me. And it wasn't often, but it was enough to be harmful to him. And so let's fast forward now to this year, 2026. And he's now out of prison, right? And he came over to my house for my birthday. Now, he came over, it wasn't anything crazy. He stayed for about 15 minutes. We, talked, and he left. And I was like, I don't want him to leave, like, ever. I want you to stay forever. Like, I love you. What is going on? How did we even get here? Why am I even in a space of, now I'm like angry, right, with the Lord, because the Lord knew he was coming. He gave me a dream 2 days prior, and he told me. I woke up after the dream, and he's like, he is coming. And I'm like, okay, he's coming. Like, I kind of brushed it off. don't do that. Because what I should have did was ask more questions. Like, okay, he's coming, so now what? What does this mean? What should I do? What should I say? What shouldn't I say? What do I need to know? But I didn't do anything like that. I just, he came, and I was devastated when he left. Like, devastated. And then I started thinking, like, why did I leave him again? Why did I why didn't I choose him? Like, I actually, did I ever really choose the Lord? Or did I just tell him that I wanted to walk with the Lord and he just stopped calling me? So I'm crashing out. Let me be clear. I am absolutely crashing out because I'm now realizing that what the decision that I thought I made 12 years ago was not a decision that I made from the depth of my heart. It was a decision that I was pushed into by his lack of calls and lack of emails. It wasn't that I didn't want him. It wasn't that I was ready to release him and let him go. It wasn't that I felt like his love was inferior. It wasn't any of those things. And now I'm 12 years later, God is showing me you've always desired him more than you've desired me. Now, I should do like a TVMA for mature audiences only, because I'm about to say some things that will challenge you. And if you are not mature enough to understand what it's like to be in a real relationship with the Lord, it'll seem blasphemous, but it's not. It is just where I truly find myself, because I'm still very much processing this. And so I said, wow, like, I always loved him more than I love the Lord. I've always wanted him more. I've always desired him more. There was always a component of our relationship that gave me everything that I felt I was missing from the Lord. You understand? Like, there's there is this place in me where I'm like, I'm sold out for Jesus. Now, mind you, I've been married and divorced and all of the things. Like, I have been in other relationships. I have all of the things, but here in this secret little hidden place in my heart is this idol. And I was so thrown off. I'm like, God, was our relationship ever real? Did I ever love you? Did I ever mean all the things that I prayed? Did I did I did I did I believe that do I believe that you are who you say you are? Do I believe that you are to be desired above everything, when in all actuality my desire is now creating distance between you and I? Because the truth, or the reality, the facts, I shouldn't call it the truth, but the facts are, I want him and I don't want you. And this may seem far off if you've never had this about like a romantic thing, but think about all the things that we desire more than we desire God. Our comfort, our vices, our complacency, our apathy, all of the things that we desire more than we desire God. And when we know that those desires are pulling so strongly on us, it creates distance between us and God. So for me, I'm like, I don't know how to love you. I don't know how to serve you half-heartedly. Like, I don't know how to sit in this place of knowing that for the past 12 years, I have come before you. I have confessed that you are my everything. I have confessed that that you matter most to me than anything else, that I would die for you, that, you know, to live is Christ, you know what I'm saying? Like to die is gain, like all these things, like I have professed, you know, it's not I that live, but the Christ that lives within me. Like all of these things that I've said over the years, were they always lies? And why do you feel like you can tell me this now? Because surely, surely you've known this for the past 12 years. You've known this. You've known this. I had no idea, but you have known all along. Why why didn't you say something? Why didn't you tell me that this is what was in my heart? It was a major blow. And I had lots of questions. And in those questions, I began to question if I can really move forward with the Lord. Like, can I really move forward? Because I don't know how to come into your presence and lie. And the wrestle for me has been, God does not become any less faithful because of what I know now. And I don't become any more or less faithful by confessing that this is where I am. And as a human, you think, surely the Lord doesn't want to sit in my face while I talk about how much I desire something else that's not Him. Like, surely He doesn't want to be a part of my confusion in this time. Like, surely He doesn't want that. Like, surely He wants somebody to worship Him in a from a wholehearted place. It's just full of devotion. Like, surely this is what He wants. But there's a scripture that says, you know, that He desires truth in our inward parts. And I'm at the place where I'm like, okay, let me just be honest with you, Lord. Let me just tell you where I am. Let me just not push off the desire as if it doesn't exist. You understand? Because that's what I've did for 12 years. I let the Lord be for me everything that I needed. I did. I allowed Him to be all the things that I needed. And I allowed Him to love me. And I allowed Him to cherish me and to, you know, heal me and to mend me and to do all of these things. But I allowed Him to do these things because I thought there was nothing that I desired more than Him. And now that I know that there's this thing, this desire, the temptation is to stay away. Stay away. Because if you don't do it in truth, you shouldn't do it at all. And I don't think, I know that that is not what the Lord is desiring in this moment, right? In this moment, He's desiring that I come close and I am honest with Him about the way that I feel and about where I truly am, so that He can actually get into those places and those spaces and do what needs to be done. Because 12 years ago, if I would have known that this is how I felt, I never would have continued my relationship with the Lord, because I understood and I understand that this relationship with the Lord is meant to be real. It's meant to be, you're meant to give God everything that is required of you. You're meant to not have other lovers. You're meant to not, you're meant to be sold out. But desire is not a bad thing. Desire is, I'm crying on Valentine's Day. Desire is not a bad thing, but our desires must be purified, right? And so when your desires are not pure, right? When they're not, and when I say pure, I don't mean like unholy, like, or when I say pure, I don't mean something that's opposite of unholy. I'm saying pure as in God's intent, God's will, like his plan, his purpose that he has for your life. They're meant to, your desires are meant to just set in there in the most divine and holy way. And that's what makes them pure, because they match with the Lord's desires for you. And he had always been my desire. He had always been my desire. And when I got married, he was my desire. And when I got divorced, he was my desire. And while I was married, he was my desire. And God knew these things. And so there's this place of this desire and God's will, and it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. And how do I remain in God when my desires are not? I don't know. Surprise. Surprise. I don't know. I've not figured it out. But what I do know is that when God begins to trust us um, to a deeper level, he begins to reveal to us things that we didn't know about ourselves. And he doesn't do that because he knows that we'll get derailed and we'll walk away from him. He does that because he knows that there is enough in us to weather whatever storm this revelation will cause. And so if you are where I am, and you have found out some groundbreaking information about yourself, about your desires, about anything that just doesn't quite fit, I will say, close the distance between you and the Lord. Close it. And I know that it's hard. It's hard. It's hard because when you wake up every day and all you want to talk about is this desire, it's hard because God is such a faithful God, right? He's so good. He is so good. And he is so kind, and he is so patient, and he is so loving, and he is so genuine and honest. And he really just loves us. He loves me. So there's this part of me that wants to lie to protect him. It sounds silly, but to give him something that I consider to be better than honesty, so that he can feel appreciated. But our God is not a weak and fickle man. He is not a man who needs his ego stroked. He is not a man who cowers or runs away from who his children truly are. And if he brought me to this truth, then surely he can handle my processing with him. But what I feel like he doesn't want is the desire that just doesn't fit. He doesn't want it to create distance, because the truth is, the only way that the desire will be purged and purified is if we're in him. There's no other way. And it's like, I was thinking like maybe one day I'll wake up and I just won't want this anymore. And when that time comes, Lord, I'll be back. It does not work like that. It doesn't work like that. It'll never work like that. There's nothing good about us except him. There's nothing good about humanity except what God is in us. And so I've cried enough. I'm about to end this. What I will say is, if this is where you found yourself, just talk to the Lord. Do not feel pressured to produce something fake. But also don't allow your feelings to become so big that your flesh can just take it and run with it. Stay right there in the valley of the shadow of death because he's with you, and his rod and his staff will strengthen you. And he will do for you everything in this place of unrighteous desire. He will do whatever you allow him to in it. Whatever you allow him to do, he will do it. And the testimony will be great. And you'll be able to say, something happened. God changed me in our common conversation. He did something. He did something. And now I don't desire things that are not his will. So I'm going to be more consistent, y'all. I'm going to be more consistent. I'm going to talk about the things, because there are many things that God has given me to talk about. But again, the desire created distance between him and I didn't have the words. But now that I am just resolving myself to be in God regardless, we're going to talk about everything, because why not? So I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but we will be talking for sure. And have a great Valentine's Day. This is pre-recorded, but it is recorded on Valentine's Day. My sister bought me these pajamas for Valentine's Day, and I want y'all to have a good day. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the people that you love. And spend some time with Jesus today, because he's good and he's faithful.